Hello. One of the machines I collected recently on a trip to Nottingham was this U-matic. It's a Sony VO5800PS video recorder. Let's have a look at this, see if it works, and investigate some of the things that make this machine unusual. So, VO5800PS, we've got a little bit of information here. It's got some features that are really quite normal for U-matic, like picture search and LED readout. Not all early machines had those features though. We've got twin VU meters. We've got this front panel that's really trying to fall off, so we may need to look at why that's happening, see if we can fix it back on a bit. And some weird angles going on here, because this is the bottom part of the front panel. That pops out like that. Why have we got this strange angle going on where that seems to be bulging out over there? Something's a bit bent. Then we have this remote control unit, RM580, which gives you this control, most of this control area here is reflected up on this one. Could be very handy if you've got a sort of edit suite and you've got a stack of these machines and you want to be able to control them remotely. I've never used one of these remotes before. Reverse on off and frame, can't quite read it, 2530 I think it says. Now at face value this looks like quite a capable video recorder. You'd think this would be a really good machine for use with a modern video transfer business such as mine, but we'll find out shortly why it's less than ideal. But as ever with video recorders of this type, it's very often more interesting to see what's going on around the back than what's at the front. So let's turn it round and have a look behind. Before I get to the back, I need to look at the bottom. This is badly stoved in here. Oh boy, that's taken an enormous impact at the bottom. I think we're going to have to take the bottom off before we even power this up. Oh look! These rear feet are all smashed in too. This machine apparently works, but it's a horrible shape. It's all bent. All this is... Can you see the angles on this? So as well as all the base being stuffed in here, look at the back. I don't know if you can see the angles. This has been hit, these are bent in, all the back here is being pushed that way. I'm not sure this is even safe to power up. We'll better have a look at it. Trying to look over the mechanical damage for a moment. Look at the rear ports. So we have composite video in 1 and 2, so they can be selected from the front. So we've got 2 composite video inputs and dub. And these dub ports we've got out as well. They're ideal for connecting to other video recorders, so you get higher quality copies where the Luma and Chroma are handled separately, or we can connect this to some digital time-based correctors which will handle the Luma and Chroma separately, similar to but incompatible with S-video signals. So the only trouble is getting the cables. I desperately need some more dub cables if anybody has some. So we also have composite video out and the dub out, and what audio out. Usually we have balanced audio outputs, but on this one we have unbalanced and an audio monitor. So that'll be a mono. On the front there's a switch for audio out, left, right and mix, or channel 1, 2 and mix. So that will be that one. Really we wouldn't use that normally, we'd use these. So it's a little unusual in having unbalanced normal line level inputs and outputs here. It can be connected to a time-based corrector as I mentioned, so we've got an on-off switch for the time-based corrector. That switch feels a bit croaky. Color lock normal, and these 2 things. I've never worked out what these are for. I've had these Several U-matic machines have got this color lock switch, and if somebody knows what that's for, please tell me. Then we have some different outputs here. This old IEJ, is it called? IAJ, this old TV connector that nobody ever really seemed to use, is supported here. And RF, so this thing has a modulator, or has the option for a modulator. It might be that the modulator has to go in here. So potentially could have a modulator for connecting to a very old television. Fairly pointless. I can't see why Sony would want to do that, because even when this thing was made back in the 80s, you could easily get TV sets which had, at the very least, composite video in. So why would you do that? And okay, a colour and black and white switch. Not sure why you'd need that. So that's if your monitor or TV is black and white. Well, why would you want that? Not sure. And unusually, system select, colour, PAL and CCAM. So this can be used for playing CCAM tapes as well as PAL ones, and presumably also for recording in CCAM. So there's going to be a lot of extra circuitry in here to handle CCAM recordings. It doesn't, however, support NTSC, so it's not a full multi-standard video recorder. If it was, that would be more useful. I think we're going to have to, at the very least, take off the top and bottom panels to see how much mechanical damage there is to this thing. So we'll take the top off and have a look down on it. Despite all the mechanical damage at the back where this has all been pushed in, it looks like we've probably got away with that. So long as the connectors at the back and the PCBs have not been shattered, I think there's nothing that's been damaged by the back being pushed in, but we'll have to have a look underneath as well. Looking at the top, everything seems to be in order. Let's open this. How do we do that? From what I can see, the mechanism appears to be in satisfactory condition. Looking at the side here, it looks like a bit of the plastic that's supposed to be on the front is trapped in here. So I'm going to take the side panel off and see if we have enough material to glue this back together. Okay, so these plastic components have been ripped off the front, and to be fair to this particular machine, that is actually a very common problem with all of the early U-matic video recorders of this general construction, because if there was another machine sat on the top and it got pulled off the front, it would tend to catch this, pull that, and cause these to snap. I've seen that on so many machines. So let's apply a little bit of glue and repair those before we carry on. Right, I think that's glued on. That looks much better. So I'll refit this side panel, then take the bottom off and see what state that's in. So this looks badly caved in, but it may again be that it doesn't really matter. So that's quite badly out of shape. Has the impact hit the boards? It looks like it's about there. The board seems to have survived. Maybe I can knock this back into shape a bit. These supports have been pushed in. Not those, just these. You would imagine that puts some forces on this board, which is sitting between these two supports. I think I'm going to undo that screw and see if the board tries to sort of ping off. Doesn't seem to be. Unplug the remote control. Remarkably, it seems to have pretty much escaped. I'll pull this out a little bit, I think. I think I've spotted something that does need repair though. Right there. That looks like a reefer filter capacitor that's exploded. So we'll look into that in a moment. So I think we're going to have to look at that capacitor there. That looks very unpleasant. How do I gain access to it? Yeah, I think if I try and straighten these out, I'm just going to break them, so I won't. So I need to find a way to gain access to this power board at the back. You may be able to see there's a screw there and under this cable tie here, but where else is it fitted? Okay, I have adequate access to be able to get this blown up filter capacitor off the board. And there you go. It was originally a 0.022, I believe, microfarads, and I actually have 0.22, but these are proper safety rated components, so that would be a good fix. Now you might say, well, it's already blown up, who cares? But I don't want to leave something like that on a circuit board that's connected to mains. You know, it could start to conduct again at some point and catch fire. I'm just not taking those sort of risks. Okay, I think we're ready to power it up and then maybe put a tape in. I've got 2 tape sizes, and see what we get when we're connected to this monitor or TV. But first things first, are we ready to power up? It looks okay. It's connected to an isolation transformer here, so that's in the off position at the moment. Let's switch on, and now this on. So I don't know if you can see the display's lit up. Let's start with a large size tape and just see if it mechanically loads and can rewind and fast forward. Okay, rewind. Okay, that got to the start of the tape. Fast forward. Let's try play. Okay, that seems to be working. Let's try the monitor. Just looking here at the remote control unit, and that seems to have more on the display than this one. This has got less characters. Let's try that. Yeah. No picture. Dirty heads perhaps? We've definitely got audio going on. Let's try another tape. Still no picture. I am suspecting head clog or similar. Oh look, it may be clearing itself up. Go to picture search and try a bit. And the tracking seems to be somewhat offset from the centre. and the colour's incredibly noisy. In freeze frame the colour is a little less bad, but still got squiggly patterns going on. And why is the tracking so off-centre? That's quite rare with U-matic. Well, on this tape the tracking seems to be much more centred, but I don't know if you saw my markings on here, it said offset tracking. So this tape has an offset tracking problem, and there is no colour, and it looks like bad heads. But of course I know the reason for that, and I've been withholding that information, but now is the time to mention it. This is an SP tape. With U-matic you can get low band and SP, and for PAL countries you can also get high band, but not in NTSC countries. And a machine such as this can only play, as it stands, low band tapes. Now some of these may have been modified to take high band tapes, which is a different kind of recording on the same kind of tape as a low band tape. But this is an SP, it's a chrome dioxide tape, and it's incompatible with this machine. So any tapes you find of the SP type will not play properly or in colour on this machine. They will all play in black and white, and probably have trails on the highlights looking like bad heads. So looking at a freeze frame on this low band tape, which this machine should be capable of playing, you can see that areas with strong colour have got loads and loads of patterning in them. You can see that. That is a fault. Oh, look, and now it's playing that bit okay, or sometimes okay, or sometimes different colours. It's gone from red to orange. Now you could argue the patterning will happen a little bit because it's composite video connection, but not this much. Yeah, so it's flipping between okay colour and then really patterny horrible colour at random. So that's okay at the moment. Now one of the problems here is that the tracking control is way off centre with most tapes. But I don't believe that's caused by a deck alignment problem, despite the fact the machine's been knocked about a bit. Because when you do get the tracking right, the noise bars look as they should. I think we've just got a case of the tracking centre point being off. You could prove it with doing a test recording, but I'm not going to right now. I'm happy that all I need to do is set the tracking control to the centre position. I've had to do this on other machines like Sanyo VTC5000, 5150s. They often have off-centre tracking. And if we look at the service manual for the 5800, not the 5850 as I first did, because that's subtly different, there is a VR1 10K preset, more or less in series with the tracking control. That's on the servo board, which is hidden in here. A little bit tricky to get to. I've already taken the side panel off and removed some screws. So I have to take these screws off, and then you take this back cover off. Then this screw out, and you can swing out the audio board. These two screws, which I've slackened off, just house a cover. We can swing that out the way, or take it off. And we have VR1 is, I think it's that one there. RV1, I should say. RV1 is there. So I'll reconnect the monitor, put in a tape, and set the tracking to the center position, and hopefully we can get good tracking then with this one. Let's give it a whirl. Okay, it's not miles away actually, it's a little bit closer on this particular tape, but what I'm looking for is that when I'm just slightly off center, I should not be so far off center. There we go. So I've done a small adjustment to the right on this, and now the tracking goes off on one extreme and off on the other extreme. The amount of adjustment required on that was really quite small. Might even turn it back slightly. Right, so rubbish at one end, rubbish at the other, and good in the middle. That was very little adjustment. So one end, the other end, and in the middle. That's really much better. Strangely, the colours are looking much better on this particular tape as well. Good. I'll reassemble this, and that's one more problem solved. Well, let's set ourselves up so we can actually have a look at the mechanism when it's in operation. So there it is with the tape accepted, so it's in a sort of semi-laced position so that it can read the track pulses. Go for play, completes lace. The mechanism here is quite intricate. Let's try fast forward. Goes back to the semi-laced position. Rewind. Similarly. Back to play. And eject. And let's watch it take a tape in. When I'm using picture search and sitting it in the center position, I'm getting a noise bar, and I think that's something that probably could be adjusted out. Most of the time there's a noise bar and there shouldn't be. But apart from that, actually the results I'm getting now, considering this material is low band and was obviously originated on video 8 or high 8, I think actually the results are pretty good. I'm not seeing any colour faults at all now. It might have been the previous tape I was looking at was giving us that. So I'd say this machine is now in good working order, and I think if I was to connect this to my time-based corrector with the dub cables, I'd really get perfectly acceptable results from this. I'm not seeing any chroma noise at all now. Very good. So would I recommend the VO5800PS or the 5850, which is a slightly more capable variant? No. Even though it is actually a very handy machine, I like it because it has this really quite nifty remote control. It does have dub outputs at the back, which I think are absolutely essential for getting the very best results. You can connect that to a digital time-based corrector. If you can get hold of one of the very few digital time-based correctors which supports dub. It also plays CCAM tapes as well as PAL, which is nice. This one seems to be in good working order. So all of those look pretty positive. But unless you know you're only going to be working with low band tapes, it's going to keep catching you out. If you wanted a single machine for a video transfer business, you would be looking at VO5800, 9850, something like that, that can take high band and SP tapes. So I wouldn't recommend one of these. I think its value is fairly low. This one, probably in this condition, I would say is worth less than £100. If you had one of the high band capable machines in similar sort of condition, it'd probably be worth 3 times that. Even so, it's been good fun to play with, and it is entirely possible I will get to use this one when I get large collections of low band tapes. I just need another dub cable to connect it to a digital time-based corrector. I hope you've enjoyed messing about with this. I'll do plenty more content on audio and video technology in the near future. Bye for now.